Hello, Sister Rachel, or might I say, Pastor Rachel. This is Gary Collins II, wanting to wish you a very happy birthday. And let me tell you an interesting story as to how I first met you and, of course, the talented Norbert. I met you and your husband, of course, at Bethesda Bible Church, although I didn't have any interaction back then, or I didn't want to have anything to do with the church whatsoever, because I wanted to go on to another church where they were made for all this praise and worship and getting involved in people where they do this dance ministry type. When incidentally, my heart and my mind and God, they all came to a decision for me. And what they said was, Gary, you stay at Bethesda Bible Church. Fortunately for me, that staying really paid off. And it turned out to be a wonderful 19-year run for me. And for enabling to try to come to church almost all the time, almost every Sunday, and some Thursdays, and on the holidays, where your church also has a Christmas play and a Christmas party. When my family goes up to see you sing, Sister Rachel, you have a very fantastic voice. To make the long story short, I gotta tell you, nobody has that kind of voice just like you. But as far as with your husband is concerned, I mean, every time I go walking around the halls in the church, or whenever I come up with some things that literally come out of nowhere, or when I find something of your husband's, he is really associated with. That's how I would get that from your husband. Yep, as you most widely know, I have a lot in common with him, especially with that of the baritone voice, though I do not talk in this kind of conversation that your husband does. But what I have, but what I can be like your husband is like I can watch a movie with Russell Crowe, or I can literally go watch The Ministers. Like, for instance, Robert Schuller, or even Kenneth Copeland, or Jimmy Swaggart for another. But the most important person I cared about, and this is what I haven't told all of you, was I really cared for Pat Robertson. Why? Well, it's because, you see, with all of his religical idealisms and all of his predictions that God had specifically told him what to say, some things that Pat would say that may find it very outrageous when all of a sudden he would say things that are absolutely outrageous, and I would just ask God to make sure he would say things the right way and so forth. Only thing is, he's not going to change. But as a kid growing up, I would watch the 700 Club, and all this time he would make some assumptions, and he would also try to nail those assumptions. Only thing is, underhand, he did them too underhandedly, and that's my Pat Robertson there. Well, you have, other than that, have a very happy birthday. You be blessed. Take good care. And don't forget to tell your husband I said hi. And I'm still attending 242 Church. Thanks. Goodbye.